this is N.A.D.G.O.R and F.R.O.S.T.B.I.T.E from BLOOD SERPENT, and we'll see you at the Tampa Morgue. Bestial Extermination!
What's up? This is Tony, and you're listening to the Tampa Morgue, episode number 38. And as always, I'm joined by my fellow mortician, Mr. Ed Webb. What's up, dude?
Mr. Anderson, what's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Just, just hanging out, getting some spring weather over here in Lithuania at the time. How's everything over there in Tampa Bay?
Getting hot.
Hot as fuck. Yeah, it's hot as fuck, huh?
It's cool this morning. I love it. I can go out and drink coffee outside, and then, like, by noon, I'm literally stripping naked and running through the streets. So it's pretty awesome.
Something that nobody wants to see.
Pretty much. Not even my wife. So trust me, it's awesome.
Yes. But, we actually have some guests tonight. So basically the first song you heard tonight, the beginning of the show, was a track called Bestial Extermination from BLOOD SERPENT's debut record titled Bestial Extermination that was released on House of Ygra Records, December of 2023. So we're going to talk to those guys. We actually have F.R.O.S.T.B.I.T.E and N.A.D.G.O.R who are joining us right now, and we're going to talk to them. So guys, what's up? How y'all doing?
Yeah, we're doing great. This it's pretty nice in Hanoi right now, and we just had dinner. So yeah, we are pretty stoked to this interview. Yeah.
We're definitely glad to have you. I was telling Ed, I kind of like came across you guys' record by mistake a couple months ago, and just I think it's great. And I wanted to reach out to you guys and get you on the show. Like I said, the record, guys, is we're going to talk about the record actually, but first I do want to talk a little bit about where you guys are from and a little bit of your backgrounds and stuff like that. We usually do that on this show.
Okay.
So the band is called Blood Serpent, and we're going to find out all about that. But first, so you guys are each of you born in Hanoi?
Yeah. Both of us are born and raised in Hanoi. I'm currently living in Hanoi at the moment, and Frostbite, he is actually studying in Germany, but now he is having a vacation, so he's going back to Hanoi. So yeah, we plan to play as many shows as possible when we are together, and that's what we've been doing for the last month now. Play a couple of shows, sell CDs, sell merch, and we are writing music together as well. We are writing new materials. We plan to release this somewhere in probably this year. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
we'll definitely talk about that also. You guys, so where you guys are from, and so Hanoi, for those who don't know, that's like what, the northern part of Vietnam, over by the banks of the Red River.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Okay.
North Vietnam. Yeah, it's the capital of Vietnam.
Is the largest city? What, Saigon now?
I think Saigon is larger, but Hanoi is the capital.
Yeah, Hanoi is the capital, but like Saigon is like one of the major metropolis area of Vietnam.
Okay. And you guys, weather-wise, you guys get all the seasons there. You guys get a little bit of winter, right? You guys get four seasons.
Yeah, we got all the four seasons, but like Hanoi weather is like very extreme, I suppose. Like in the summer, it gets very hot and humid, and in the winter, it's like very cold. It's not. I don't think it's like as cold as in Europe or anything, but like with the humidity and the low temperature, it makes things so much worse in the winter. So the weather in Hanoi is like kind of extreme in both ends.
You guys get a shitload of rain too, right? 'Cause you guys get that monsoon season.
Yeah, lots of rain.
Yeah, I've actually never been to Hanoi, but Vietnam is definitely on my list of places I definitely want to visit. You guys actually have no drinking age there too, is that correct?
Yeah, no, we don't have any restriction on that. You can, basically, if you want to drink legally, you have to be 18 years old. But like most people don't care, and no one get fined for drinking in such earlier age. Like no one really cares.
Yeah, it's definitely a beautiful place. I know. I actually had read once that actually Vietnam is actually like Hanoi. I don't know if it was exactly there, but it's actually considered like one of the happier places to live. Like people actually enjoy living there, and I mean, like I said, everything I've seen. It's definitely a beautiful area. But when you guys were growing up in Hanoi, were you guys like? Was your family? Were you guys like around music a lot? Would you guys come from a musical family at all?
No, not really. My family is not really the most musical family out there. Well, aside from my dad, he listens to a lot of like 70s and 80s like hard rock and heavy metal. He was the one that introduced me to Metallica when I was a kid. So yeah, I think it started from there. Well, from my dad, he listened to like classic rock and classic heavy metal, and so fast forward a few years, and here we are now.
And Frostbite, how about you? You come back from a musical background?
Yeah, I think in terms of family, we don't really have any musical background. We just kind of discover this kind of music by ourselves, and we share music, and we become friends. That's how like our records work, and that's how Blood Serpent work from the start. Yeah.
Do you guys remember the first actual like record you guys each got?
The first I got, probably is, actually the first record that I buy, I buy record like very late, earlier, like when I was like 18 or 19 years old. I just started buying records, and my first record, I think it was Opeth, Still Alive. I think that was the first metal record that I buy like by myself, and not a gift from
How
anyone.
about you, Frostbite?
I think my first record The first record that I bought was from I was in high school. It was my first physical CD was King Crimson's In the Court of the Crimson King, because that back then it was a time that Fripp did not release his music like on mainstream media, so I had to find a way to acquire his CDs. And luckily, a friend of mine was in Germany, and I asked her to bought me a copy of that CD, and that was my first physical CD.
Do you guys have like how is there record stores where you guys are, like many record stores where you guys are at, or
No,
like
No,
how hard
no,
was
no,
it to
no,
get
like
physical like copies?
we usually let's just buy records from like overseas labels, and we in House of Ygra we also trade CDs with other local like Asian labels. So I think we are one of the few like store. We don't have a physical store, but like we have ourselves a good amount of stocks. So I think we are one of the few like record shop in Hanoi that sells like metal metal CDs and tapes and all that. We have record stores in Hanoi, but like it's mostly pop and rock and all kind of bullshit.
Yeah, you guys. So, do you guys remember your first shows that you actually attended?
The first show, oh
First concert you guys ever went to, not played, but had actually
yeah
went
yeah
to.
yeah, it was Incantation live in Hanoi back in 2018. Uh,
Okay.
so yeah, there was some guy in Hanoi. He was like hosting like very big metal bands to our city, and it was Incantation that played that night in December 2018. It was my most memorable show.
I don't
Nice.
remember like if I have attended local shows, but the first show that I have ever attended was Netherlands Death Fest 5. It was in Netherlands.
Which one? Oh,
Netherlands Death
okay.
Fest 5. Yeah. I think it was the last version of Netherlands Death Fest. I was really lucky to be there. I attended day 2, I think, and there were really big bands playing that day. There were Demolition Hammer, Benediction, and Sacramento. Really cool fest.
Nice. And do you guys? When was the first time you guys actually got instruments? Like picked up an instrument, or
Yeah. I first picked up the guitar when I was 13 years old, but like I didn't even listen to music back then. Like my mother just just asked me to if I want to play guitar because it looks cool. So I said yes. So that was when I first playing the acoustic guitar, and I didn't even listen to like heavy music until I was 17. So when I was 17, I still played the acoustic, but I started listening to like Metallica and Black Sabbath, and Iron Maiden, and all that, and I tried to learn the songs on the acoustic guitar. And when I got to college, I bought myself an electric guitar, Jackson guitar, and from then I just started writing my own music. Started with F.R.O.S.T.B.I.T.E, and then a few years later with Blood Serpent.
Well,
nice?
I first played music, I think it was in 2017, but back then I played the drums. But it's kind of hard to get good at drums, especially when you're in Hanoi, because they don't like this kind of music here. And when I practice, I'll get noise complaints from my neighbors. So I took a change from drums to bass. I remember back then I mean, right now I'm still a big fan of Jerry Lee from Rush, the bassist. Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, and he influenced me a lot, and he's the reason why I pick up the bass and like practice regularly. And right now, it is still my main instrument.
When'd you get your first bass?
I think I acquired my first bass in 2020. It was like an Ibanez, I think, 4 strings.
Okay, yeah. So you guys are what around? So what? You guys are around 22, 23?
We are
We're
20.
old fuckers here, man. We've been around for a while, me
I'm
and Ed. So
I'm 24 and Frostbite is 23. So yeah,
Yeah, we
okay,
have the same age.
we are still in our early 20s.
okay. And how would you explain the metal? Like, so back, say when you guys were going to those first couple shows, how was the metal scene back then in your area, or the attendance at the concerts?
So that's kind of the funny thing of Hanoi is that there back in 2018, I don't think there was a really a proper metal scene. Like it's very mixed with the all the metal guys and the hardcore kids. You know, if they're in the show, everyone would come. So we have like the metal, the old metal guys, and many of the core kids. But like I would say that back then I wasn't like very aware of the metal scene because I was like very new into the scene, right? I just came there to watch Incantation, but like so from what I've heard, like back then there wasn't any like active bands like recording music, like not like in the way that we are doing now. I would say like now we have a much better scene now uh, with like a lot more people in black metal or in death metal than in like 2018.
And were you guys so? Now I don't know if this is correct or not, but like, was the music banned at one time, kind of in your area? Like I know brutal music was not accepted, right, by the public there.
Uh, no, not necessary. I don't think that the public like really was really aware of the underground scene because it was so small. Like no one would bat an eye, right? So back then there was some bands playing death metal. There was a band called Bloodshed. They play like blue death metal, but I don't think they are really active right now. But like back then we already had like brutal music. And that's in Hanoi specifically. But if you like look into the scene in Saigon, back in like 10 years ago, they were very active with lots of bands, lots of like death metal
Pieties
bands.
from
Like,
there.
oh no, Impide is from Singapore.
Singapore.
Yeah,
Yeah, Singapore.
I'm saying Saigon. Like there are
Oh,
many
okay.
in Saigon. There are many like metal bands active like in 10 years ago. Now there are very few metal bands left in Saigon, but like 10 years ago they were very active.
Yeah, what was it? Was there a band with Disgusted? Were they from there?
Yeah, Disgusted, exactly. Yeah. So basically,
Okay, so they were
Disgusted
signed in.
and a bunch of other bands. They were projects of one guy called Chung Loki. He was like very prominent.
He was in
member
Rot,
of-
right?
Yeah, in
he's
Rod,
in Rod.
who just released an album like 2 years ago. Um, but yeah, he was very active back then. Now he's still active with his bands, but like not as like I would say not as productive as like 10 years ago.
And he had a big part in the metal scene there, if I'm correct, right? He
Yeah,
really
yeah. He
like,
was like probably the most prominent figures in the Vietnamese metal scene.
And we all consider him like a pioneer in bringing metal to Vietnam.
I think he was in that band Disgusted actually at one time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, Disgusted, Rot. I know those bands. And he has that label now too, right? Bloody Chunks Records.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
That he's run
I mean,
for-
he still puts out music now through his label, but like I don't think it's as interesting or as good as like 10 years ago, I suppose.
Yeah, and you guys, what was your? So we'll start with you, Frostbite. You played bass in a black metal band, right? You joined in 2020, and so what was that? What was the name of that band?
I think it was L'Economy, right?
Yeah, Lacotomy. That's right.
Yeah.
How did you get involved with those guys?
It was he was like also a friend of mine, and we kind of want to create a black metal project because we back then we are very much influenced by F.R.O.S.T.B.I.T.E. You also know F.R.O.S.T.B.I.T.E, right? Yeah. One
Yes,
of the,
mhm.
like pioneering black metal acts in Hanoi, and we also want to create a black metal project with some avant-garde parts, some avant-garde influence and noise influence in our music, and the music was very much influenced by two significant acts of Mayhem and Psy, the Japanese black metal band. Mhm. And we together we created like a record together, but there was like some difference in creativity. So we decided to
Otherwise,
part ways and create our solo projects.
And you guys did the External Path of Eden, right? So that was the album that came out in House of Ygra.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
last year.
Okay, and then N.A.D.G.O.R, you had obviously L-Crossed.
Yeah.
Was that your first band?
Yeah, it was my first proper band, and yeah, so F.R.O.S.T.B.I.T.E is basically me and Imperial Cult, who runs the label house Ygra. And yeah, back then it was like 2019. Like we decided to do some sort of melodic black metal together, and and yeah, we just back then we didn't think of even playing live or starting a label or anything. We just want to create music together.
It was going to
So
be a studio project at
yeah,
first, correct?
we planned to be a studio project, and we released our first album, United and Unrequited, like in 2020. And yeah, and from there we started writing more music. We made an EP, and we did a split with an Australian post black metal band in 2021, and now we are still writing our second album. So we plan it to be out like this year.
So yeah, like you said, you guys did the EP in 2020. You did
Yeah,
the split in 2021. You guys put out 2 live albums,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
and then the full length. And
yeah.
then you also played live. You also filled in live for the band Vong.
Yeah, the band Vong is a one man like raw black metal band like with the sound of like Dark Throne and Bosom. They are very influenced by that. But like when we decided to play across live, we didn't know anyone except for the guy from Vong. So we asked him to fill in to play guitars for Across, and then I will play guitars for his band. So it was kind of like a deal between us, and
A
then
trade off.
yeah, a trade off. And now I'm still playing live for Vong.
Okay, so and then so L Cross, you guys decide basically to take like some time off, right? You guys are going to take some time off, and that's how Blood Serpent kind of came
Yeah.
to life. And you and Frostbite, when did you guys exactly first meet?
We first met like we know each other like online, but like I think I first met him when I gave him when I met him physically to give him the Cross album. I think that was the first time that we actually met. Uh, it was like this was like 4 years ago now.
Oh wow. Okay, so you guys decided to put together Blood Serpent, and so you had what? You had already had like a couple songs you had pre-wrote and kind of put them to the side for a while.
Uh, yeah. So like after finishing the recording of the Cross split, and after putting it out, I decided to focus on more like I want to focus on more like the bestial side of black metal. I want to make something more aggressive, and and Imperial Cult, he has to focus on the label. So we put like El Cross like aside for a while, except for like live playing, except for live shows. But like in terms of creativity, I started writing like more aggressive stuff. But I did all my writing on a guitar, right? So I need someone to do the rhythm section for me. So I asked Frostbite if he wants to join Blood Serpent, because I know he likes war metal and black death metal, and he's really good at rhythm. So I asked him to join, and he said yes. He accepted my offer. And back then we wrote some songs. Some of it made it to the album under another name. It was called Devourer, but like we found out like Devourer was actually a name of another war metal band from Malaysia. So we decided to change the name to Lost Serpent, and we wrote the rest.
Who came
of
up with the
album.
name Blood Serpent?
I did.
Yeah, he came up.
I did. So
And who did the logo?
so
for you guys?
we spent like a whole afternoon to think of some kind of name, and we want the name to be something related to the serpent, because it's a very sacred sacred
Yeah.
creature, and it's something of like worship, and it's a religious symbol. And so we decided to do something with the serpent. So I came up with the blood serpent. And,
Okay, and who did the logo for you
luckily
guys?
for us, it was that name wasn't taken by anyone else.
That's a hard thing these days, right? Every name is taken
I know.
a million times. And you guys did that. You guys named it. And did you guys say? Did you design the logo too?
I didn't design the logo. I asked the guy from Vong. He's an artist, so he designed the logo for us. He designed the logo and all that, and yeah,
Okay, cool. And what was actually the first Serpent song written?
it was that
Invocation.
invocation. It was that invocation. We wrote it first, like we wrote it under the name of Devourer, and then when we changed to Blossom and we finished the song, we changed stuff, some of the riff and some of the structure, and then it was our first completed song. Yeah.
Okay, and who does the lyrics in Blood Serpent?
Uh, I,
He did.
I did all the lyrics and the vocals, all the lyrics and vocals. Yeah.
Okay. And what is the songwriting process for you guys? Are you guys like trading back links, files, and shit? Or are you guys?
Yeah, that was pretty much what happened. So if he came up with riffs and structures, he would tap them on guitar. He would tap them and send them to me, and I would complete it with recording bass and rhythm section. And sometimes, if I came up with something like a drum track, I would also send it to him so that he can think of riffs, and we trade our
Materials.
yeah materials and our criticisms so that we can improve the songs. And then when a song is finished, we would mix it, and he come up with the lyrics, and he would try to try vocals
Yeah.
all over it.
Yeah, so the vocals, we did the vocal last. We record everything, mix everything, and then I record the vocals when everything is done.
Okay, and something I should have asked you guys earlier. So when did you guys first like start getting? You talked about like obviously the Metallica and bands like this. When did you guys start transforming over to the more? When did you start hearing? Now I know you saw Incantation. You didn't even
Yeah.
when you saw them. Did you have any idea what they were before you saw them, or like what was your first introduction, guys, into like more extreme music?
Uh, my first introduction to extreme music, I think it was Opeth. I suppose it was Opeth, like the earlier Opeth. It was dark. It was heavy. It was like very black metal like. So I started listening to Opeth before I listened to black metal, which was my first black metal album. I think it was like Emperor from International Eclipse. It was
Okay.
my first exposure to black metal, and I think like after that I just dig on listening all the classic stuff until I found out like Fallen Angel of Doom. It was like my first like proper war metal records, and I was like, holy shit, this sound like this kicks ass, and I want to make something like this. But I had to wait like for like 2 years before I started writing for BLOOD SERPENT. So it
It's,
was Fallen Angel of Doom that one of the albums that changed my course of like listening to music.
it's funny because you mentioned in the Night Side Eclipse, and that was like '94, I think that came out. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean that was even before your time. That was probably
exactly.
before
Yeah.
you. Yeah, yeah. And what about you, Frostbite?
I was first exposed to heavy music in about 2018, 2019, and I still remember my two first black and death metal albums. And I like my introduction to the genres were Blood the French black metal band, and Dismember's Massive Killing Capacity. That was my first proper death metal album, and like I was like him, I was also like very intrigued by this world of extreme metal music, and I listened to a lot of classic stuff. And until one day I discovered a record called Seven Chalice by Blood. Yeah, and I was like, holy fuck! How can you make something like this? Blood sound, they are massive, a lot of reverb, and it was recorded in like a massive cave, and the sound is like hundreds of people from hell. They're yelling for help. And then I listened to their next album, which is Death, and I still consider that album to be the quintessential Black Death album with its sonical assault. I really love that album, and it was one of my main influences in doing Blossom.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna play one of the songs off you guys debut record, actually, now. And then we're going to come back and talk to you guys more about the record and a bunch of other stuff. So this is a track off the Blood Serpent debut titled, this one is going to be, we're going to play Death Invocation. And this came out in December 2023 on the House of Ygra. And this is Death Invocation. We'll be back on the Tampa Morgue right after this track. You go. That was Blood Serpent with Death Invocation. And so House of Ygra. So that you guys are part of that, right? Nagdar, you're part of the co-founders of that, if I'm correct.
Yeah. So like back in 2021, Imperial Cults, he has the idea. He had the idea of like doing this label to like comprise and release all the music released by local artists, because like after L. And Vong released our debut albums, there were many young guys like very eager to put out their music. So we saw that as an opportunity to to gather them together and put out their music under the House of Ygra label. And I think like Dichotomy was like founded like during that time. So we plan to release L. and Dichotomy first. And after we founded the label. There were many other acts that joined, like the SBM act Dosanger and the melodic death metal act Revasor, which is one of our biggest band in the label now. So our current roster has like around 7 bands, and all of them are very active. So
I was going to ask you what your current
yeah,
roster was. If you guys want to, I don't know if you want to,
yeah.
if you want to tell us the roster.
Yeah, the roster. I think we have L. we have Vong, we have Revasor, we have Dosanger, Blood Serpent. I think those 5 bands are the official and a hardcore band called Nuclear Stockpile. So it's like six bands like officially under our roster, but like we also released albums from Rot. Their debut album like in 2022, it was released through our label.
You guys put out what? Darkness Burns from them.
As that a Burn, yeah.
Okay. And you guys put on shows too, right? What is the average, like if you're going to go to a metal show in Vietnam? What is the average prices for? And not, I guess I won't say. We'll talk about some of the bigger acts. I know you guys just played with Suffocation and them, recently.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go to a metal show, like a regular, like a local metal show, what is the average prices for that around in
I would
Vietnam?
say $10 to $15, and it depends on the bands that we invite as well. So when we when House of Ygra invited Warmrod, what was the price again for the ticket?
So it was like $20.
$20, yeah, about that.
$20 for Warm Rod, that show. But like for local show, we sell at a much cheaper price, like around like $8 or $9, around $8 or $9 for local shows. But like when we have to like invite international bands or bands from Saigon, we will raise the price up to like $15 to $20.
Okay, so you guys put on shows and stuff, and back to Blood Serpent. When you guys formed that band, what was obviously you come from L. You guys come from different bands. What was the vision you had for that band? Like, because it's a very distinctive. It is a certain thing. There's a certain thing you guys carry, which is there's actually one thing about you guys, which we'll talk about also, is I love the production on the record. I know you guys did that in house, I believe. But what was your vision? Like, what did you want from that first record?
Yeah, for the first record, we just want like pure assault, but like we do not want it to be a derivative of some other bands. We don't want to be a blasphemy copy. We don't want to be a revenge copy. But like we try to take all of our influences and try to make it something our own. Like we take our influences not just from like war metal. We take it from the things that predates war metal, like early black metal, early death metal, thrash metal, or even hardcore punk. So all those elements, all those influences, we take all of them and try to make it into something of our own.
So yeah, I definitely, one thing I noticed with you guys is you have a lot of different elements, and you talk about, you guys definitely have a war metal presence, but you also don't. Your production is much more clean. I think it's not as chaotic. You definitely have. Well, I want to talk about the riffs first. So when you guys are writing this, there's hooks on this album, and I think that's a great thing. And was this something when you were writing it that you made sure that you had?
Yeah, kind of like that, because like when I start writing the riffs, I still have the what can I say? I still want to do something like it has to be memorable, right? I don't want it to be like just chaos. I mean, it's very easy to do just chaos and like be and like be generic, I suppose. But to me in this kind of music is it's important to have like hooks, things that people will remember when listening to our songs, and when I write the riff, it just came out naturally. All the hooks just came very naturally for me. I didn't have to force anything.
Yeah, it's I mean, and there's definitely some hooks on that record. And you mentioned like you guys definitely, like I said, you have that. There's definitely that war thing going on, but it's still totally different than the bands like Caveman Cult from like bands that we're familiar with.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely got its own thing. And you guys definitely have like there's definitely how would I put it, a European black metal influence with you guys.
Yeah, because all came from a black metal background, so I think that the black metal influence is like very very prominent in Bestial Extermination.
And also, there's death metal in there too. You know, there's. I mean, so what are some of the? Let's go to that. So, what are some of the? First, let's start with black metal bands. What are? I hear some Mayhem, obviously, influence there and
Yeah.
stuff. But what are some bands that you feel really influenced you guys on the black metal side of it?
To me, is Blasphemy and Black Witchery, and some like early like battery stuff. Some like
And you guys
yeah.
did a Black Witchery cover. You guys did Holy Vengeance of War on this record.
Yeah, because I've always been a big fan of Imperath work. Like his vocals are insane. His riffs are very memorable. You know, that's the things about the older war metal bands and the older like black death metal bands. They know how to write really good songs that latch on you, uh, like uh, like forever. Yeah.
Yeah, you got what were some other you guys were into? Like I think you guys were big, obviously Angel Corpse guys. You guys were into. Um, Probably Perdition Temple. I don't know if you guys ever listened to Perdition Temple,
Yeah,
which
actually,
is you
like
know,
Prediction Temple was like my main influence, my main death metal influence. Angel Corp and Prediction Temple, but like it's basically like the same kind of style because it's still the same guy,
yeah,
and
still
even
Gene at the end of the day.
still Gene,
Yeah,
yeah,
and he even shared like our album on his like
social media.
social media, and we are all very happy about it because we are all big fans of Andrew Corpse and his little works. So it's
Yeah, I think that and that last the merciful what was it, Merciless Upheaval, the last record they did, Perdition Temple. I think
Yeah,
it
it
was a
was
couple
a
years ago.
I think it
What you
was
guys think of
a
that record?
mini. I think it was a mini album. It was like
I think it has like only four
half like four original song and four covers. So my favorite Perdition Temple album is still Sacrament of Dimensions. Their previous album, like
Yeah, 2000 that one came out, right? I believe.
2017 or 18, I don't remember, but like
Or
is my
Sacraments of the Sacraments.
Sacraments of Dissension. Yeah.
Yeah. So and how about individual players? Like if you guys had each of you had to pull like influence from like you know like you say bass Frostbite. You know a lot of people would say like Steve Harris or something like that. Or what guys? What individual players really inspired you guys with your own playing?
For me, for my bass playing, I would say it was Jerry Lee, Geezer Butler, and Erlen Kaspersen, the bass player from Spawn of Possession. So, Geezer Butler influenced me a lot on my bass writing. So, you know how he's always cited as writing a lot of melodic parts in Black Sabbath records. That's how I want to incorporate my writing into the Pestilent songs. So, I try to incorporate a lot of like melodic and kind of different parts underneath the guitar, so that at times the bass can, bass part can shine and offer something different from the whole chaotic assault of the whole song. And I want all the songs to have that kind of this kind of melodic sense in it, and I want to I want to use my bass to do it to and also to highlight N.A.D.G.O.R's guitar writing as well.
Yeah. So my influence, I would say like color of the storm because of the hooks I learned to do the hooks from Blasphemy. So it was Color of the Storm. Second is Jean Palubiki, obviously a very big influence on me on my songwriting. And for my lead playing, I would say Euronymous from Mayhem and Vermin from Revenge because they have like all the insane improvisational kind of lead playing and solos, and so I take that from them.
That Euronymous is definitely, I could definitely hear that on this record. Actually, when you say that, it makes a lot of sense. You guys, well, you guys also into like so. What was it? Archgoat too was a big influence for you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Ashko definitely a big influence on like the slower, more groovy parts. They are the master of like that kind of groove, like slow Black Death Doom kind kind of riffs. So I really enjoy that, and I took influence from them as well.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit more about the record, but here we're going to play another track off of it right now, which probably one of my favorite tracks off the record, actually. So it's Wielder of Pestilent, Flame,
Yeah.
which is is there anything you can tell us about that song?
Yeah, it was the almost the last song that we did. It was the second to last song that I wrote that we wrote together, and that song featured like some, I would say it featured some very interesting like rhythm section parts, which I really enjoyed, and the theme of the song is just like purely pestilential fire, like consuming humanity and all that. So it is also my favorite song in the album.
Cool. We're going to play that song now here. This is Wielder of Pestilent Flame on the Tampa Morgue. We'll be right back after this song with the guys from Blood Serpent. And we are back, and that was Blood Serpent with Wielder of Pestilent Flame. And one thing I mentioned earlier in this interview that I really liked the production on this record. And you guys actually, I had heard one of you say, it might have, I don't know which one of you was, but you guys made sure that the album actually had a certain sound to it. You guys didn't want to have that total raw, like just, I don't know, it's a certain, you guys kind of went with more of like the bands from like the recordings from like what, 2010, 11, 12, that kind of production.
Well, one of our main influences for the production was a band called Profane Order.
From Quebec.
From Quebec,
yeah.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
That guy has a project called Spectral Wood also, I think. And if you listen to their newest albums, there's like a certain modern touch to it. But his overall sound is still very, in a way, it's still very assaulting, very raw, and very, tonal assaulting. So I want to try to incorporate that kind of sound into our album because, well, I think maybe personally for me, but I enjoy the Black Death, the more modern Black Death albums and bands more. So I would say that I love the later N.A.D.G.O.R albums, the Thetampamorgue band, and there's a band from Canada also called Weapon, also a Black Death band, and they have this kind of there's this blend of modern sound and there's still this very raw sound coming from the instruments. So that's what I want to incorporate in our sound, and I tell N.A.D.G.O.R that, and he also agrees that there should be a blend between the two worlds because you can see that in our records there are very melodic parts, and we want to highlight those parts instead of keeping things too raw.
Yeah, but like
You guys really kind of focus on the melodic thing too, right?
yeah. So we want things to like still raw, but like it still has to be like clean. If that makes sense, it's clean, but like not sterile. Still, it
Yes.
still needs the rawness of the old school.
It's like I would say it's a very like goat in this approach, So if you listen to their record called Anesthetic Vapor, a very raw record, but you can still hear
You can still make out the riff.
make up the very melodic riffs, I would say.
Yeah, you guys. So you, like I said, you guys actually produced the record yourselves, and you guys also worked with. I don't want to say his name wrong. It's Nemo Lockhart. Is his name?
Yeah.
Who's a member of F.R.O.S.T.B.I.T.E. Also, I know.
Yeah. He's like our like in label producer. Like he produced like a lot of album. Like, he mastered our album Bestial Extermination. He mixed and mastered all the F.R.O.S.T.B.I.T.E. albums. He also mixed the As Darkness Burns from Rot. So he's like our in-house producer.
He did that. What the Locotomy too? He did, right? Is that
Yeah,
how?
he also did Locotomy. He also did Locotomy. But like, he's the main producer for lots of bands, including like F.R.O.S.T.B.I.T.E. and Blood Serpent.
And you guys pretty much have the same vision, right? When it comes to production, you guys pretty much kind of see the same.
We see the same thing. We have the same vision, and we both understand how we want our record to sound. Yeah. So it was very. I would say it wasn't too much of a. It wasn't too difficult for us to work together in terms of sound.
And what you guys would say when you guys were working on the material for that record, about a year and a half it took you guys to get all that together?
Yeah. So I think we started like seriously like started writing. It was around May 2022, and then we finished. No, probably later than that. Probably July 2022, and then we finished all the writing um, in August 2022. But like that was the writing. We didn't record anything, and it was like after like 4 months or 5 months because I had a graduation project that had to focus on, so I didn't focus on the band at that time. So I had to finish my project, and then I came back to work on the recording, and then we record everything in like 1 month or 2 months, and then after that I put down the lyrics and record the vocals. It took us another 1 month. So we finished. I think we wrapped up everything around September 2023. But like we have to wait for the schedule of the label to put out our album. So it was put out in December.
Yeah, but from what I remember,
Can
the
you-
writing part was really. I think it was like faster than I think actually.
Yeah,
And
it was like 2 weeks, I suppose.
Yeah.
We wrote like almost everything in 2 weeks.
and we try to we like improve things during the recordings, and I think the recording and the mixing parts takes the longest, but
Yeah,
overall it was very pleasant
Yeah.
experience.
Okay. And you guys, the album art was done by an Indonesian artist, right?
yeah,
He also did Abigail's artwork, Agnostic Priest, Decrepit Soul. So I don't want to say his name wrong. Jenglot Hitman.
yeah. I think that's how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
Okay, and so he did the album cover for you guys, and then you guys would play. So let's talk about obviously so drummers, right? So we know from Florida, right, Ed? Like Ed will tell you, like even in Tampa Bay, drummers are pretty much one of the hardest fucking things to find. And we even talked about Angel Perdition Temple earlier, right? Well, so Ronnie, you got the drummer Ronnie that plays for them.
Yeah, Green Powder.
Ed's been in bands with this guy. Me and Ed are doing a project with him now, actually, some cover songs. But he is like one of the guys in Tampa that he's like one of the drummers. We have like what, Ed? How many drummers? There was like 3 drummers in Tampa that everybody wants to have involved.
Probably now at this point. I mean, most of them have either moved away or, like our drummer's gone.
Yeah, so it's drummers are hard to get in Tampa too. Like I said, Ronnie's pretty much the guy, and Ronnie's because Ed, when did you first start playing with Ronnie?
Wow, it's 2012, maybe 13. It was right because that's how he got into Perdition Temple. Because Damien, our guitar player that's in Nocturnus, wanted to join Perdition Temple and wanted me to play bass and sing in Perdition Temple, which it's great, but I have a certain style of music I personally write and play, so it just didn't fit what I was doing. But he needed a drummer, so he came in and kind of snaked Ronnie.
Ronnie's a beast, though. Ronnie,
he kind of snaked him, but but Ronnie is proved to be a brutal death metal drummer. I mean, Malevolent Creation.
Yeah.
He did. He was doing Aim On for a while. I mean, he's been Brutality.
His band, which is I know how this is falling. What's his
Blood Messiah?
Blood Messiah. He does.
So yeah, he's been. He's and plus not just a drummer. He wrote the guitars and all the stuff for Blood Messiah. He played them on. He recorded the guitars. So he's a shredder outside of playing drums. So Ronnie's definitely a beast. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's a talented dude.
But the thing with that, yeah, and it's like with the drummers, like you guys were saying, we have the same issue in Tampa. The drummers are the hardest person to find. So it's the same in Vietnam for you guys, or where you guys are located, maybe.
I think that's kind of like universal everywhere. Like drummers are a rare species. So like back in like 2 years ago and 3 years ago when we played F.R.O.S.T.B.I.T.E, we still have a drummer. He was a really good drummer. He played in F.R.O.S.T.B.I.T.E and Rebel. He was probably one of the most prominent young drummers in town. But he moved to Japan now, so he didn't really have a drummer now. For F.R.O.S.T.B.I.T.E, like when we decide to play live with a drummer, we have to fly a drummer from Saigon because he was the only one who could blast beats like 200 BPMs and all that. And so he's a session member for F.R.O.S.T.B.I.T.E, but like for Blood Serpent, I also wanted to find a drummer, but I know it's kind of impossible now. So I guess in our early stage of playing live, we are still okay with a drum machine, at least for the moment, until we find someone
But
else.
eventually, you guys do want to get
Yeah, we do,
a human back.
We do want to find a drummer, like in best case scenario in Hanoi, so that we can like rehearse together, and then we don't have to spend like tons and like hundreds of dollars just to fly them over to play one show. That's too expensive. So I hope that one day we'll find a drummer in Hanoi.
And Frostbite, you program all the. You're pretty much taking care of all the programming right now for the drums for you guys.
Yeah. Sometimes there are drum parts that are also right, but I just like take it all and try to make it as humane as possible. So I try to humanize it so that it sounds like human is actually playing the drums as possible, so that it eliminates the dryness and the coldness of a drum machine.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you guys now go into talking about live shows. You guys actually played your first live gig, what, August 8th, 2023 at Scumfest 1?
Scumfest 1, yeah. We supported the Grand Core act from Thailand, Smallpox Aroma. So that show was our first show, but Frostbite, he was in Germany at the time. So
Yeah, he missed that show, right? I heard.
Yeah. So we had to ask one of our friends from Los Angeles, it's the SBM band, and I asked him to fill in the bass position, and he agreed.
And that's Downfall he goes by?
Downfall.
Yeah, that's Downfall.
Yeah, that's Downfall of Los Angeles. Okay. So yeah, he plays live whenever Frostbite isn't home.
Okay, and you have another guitar player that plays with you guys too, right?
Yeah.
So he plays with Rot.
Yeah, he plays for us. He plays for like tons of bands. He plays live for tons of
Dichotomy,
bands.
I think I saw on there, or in Vong. I think he's played for all the bands.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys, so I'm thinking it's kind of like us and Tampa. You guys are pretty incestuous, right? Where like a lot of the same guys play with a lot of the same bands, just different instruments maybe, or. So that was you guys' first show.
First show. So our first show, I think it was great. I think it was a good enough debut. We didn't play like super tight at that show, but I suppose like it was our first show, so mistakes happen. But I would say like gradually we started playing better and better. I think the latest show where we supported Suffocation and Gate Creeper, it was our best show.
Yeah, you guys played with Gate Creeper. What was that? I don't want to pronounce the name wrong, but is it Ho Chi Minh City you guys played at?
Yeah.
With them, it was Gate
City.
Creeper and then Suffocation. Yeah, how was how are those? So when Suffocation comes there, how was the turnout? That was a sold out show, right?
I think it was a sold out show. I think there was like 300 people, probably more, around 300 people. So I think that show was a great success for the organizer in Ho Chi Minh City. And it was a really fun show. We met Terrence Hobbs and the guys, and he was very very down to earth, I suppose. Yeah, he's
Ed's played with all those guys, right? Terrence is Ed. You've played with Terrence. You're on. You played with him.
Terrence and Derek are some of the most down to earth dudes.
Yeah,
like to party. They like to party. But yeah, no doubt. So all the dudes in Suffocation. I mean, when we played with them in Atlanta, that was the first time they had come back since COVID, because they hadn't played a show in like a year and a half. So their first show, you know what that's like coming back. We know when we haven't played. Dude, you'd have thought they never missed a beat. They were so fucking heavy, so loud.
Super tight.
It was brutal, man. They're an incredible band. I've done a lot of shows with them. Of course, I'm a fan of Frank. Frank the Tank is definitely, but
Ricky's killing it though.
Ricky's absolutely. Very few times. I know that from the whole cam bullshit. You can't replace the original dude. Blah blah blah. No, Ricky's crushing it, man. And when Frank endorses you, you're good.
Yeah, definitely. No, he's doing a great job with that band. And so with big tours, do you guys get a lot of big tours going through there?
Touring, no, we don't really have any tours in plan right now because
But do you guys get actual tours coming through town? Like you had the Suffocation and Gate Creeper.
Town.
Is that a common thing for you guys?
Not as common. We have like that kind of big show. I think like 3 or 4 times per year. So before Suffocation, we had Cryptopsy playing in Saigon. we had Creep of Sea playing, and back then I don't I don't quite remember what do you have last year. Oh yeah, we have
We have
Warm
defeated
Rock.
sanity as
We
well.
have Defeated Sanity, like, but it was like
Yes.
twenty
Years ago.
now, like
Yeah.
years ago now. But like last year we had Warm Rock where we hosted them, and
This year we are supposed to have Full Hell as well.
yeah, this year we will have Full of Hell coming. I think in July or September. Either July or September. It's like on. Yeah.
Okay, that's very so. And you guys also, speaking of that, you guys have a show. So you guys have a show coming up this weekend, right? Saturday. Well, when everyone's listening to this, it'll be the 21st, I believe. You guys are
It's
playing. You guys are playing another.
21st.
Okay, and that's another. What is that show? It's another festival. Is that the same festival? Same
Yeah,
one you
it's
guys played a couple
Scumfest.
years ago?
Yeah.
It's still Scumfest. It's like our third Scumfest now. So the first Scumfest was Smallpox Aroma. The second one was Wormrot, and now the third one next week is Shitstorm. It's the Grand Core Act Shitstorm, and I learned that their drummer also plays for Abysmal Lord and Caveman Cult, so that's super cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Abysmal Lord. Yeah, we actually had Alvar from Caveman. He's no longer with Caveman Cult, but we had Alvar on here probably like 2 months ago. We've played Alvar. He's in a couple bands out of Miami that we've played with a bunch of times, Reapermancer and stuff. So it's definitely more thrashy, punky. But I definitely recommend checking that out if you guys haven't checked out his other
I check him
bands.
out.
But
I check that out.
yeah, he opened up his studio now. But we had him on not too long ago. But yeah, Abysmal Lord. That's another band. They're on Hell's Headbangers too, I believe.
Yeah,
They
that's
do all
the
their releases through that.
Headbanger, right?
And
Freaking
for
awesome.
you guys, do you guys like now? House of Ygra. Do you guys, is that pretty much where you guys are going to stay, or do you ever like label wise? Because you guys now that's before I edge this question, I want to ask you also the reaction for this record. Like, are you guys surprised by kind of the reaction you guys have gotten for this release
Yeah,
for the Blood Serpent debut?
Yeah, definitely. We didn't expect it to like blow up that big. At least for us, like for a local band, I didn't expect it to reach like so many people, like from US, from Canada, from freaking like Europe, and that people heard about us. It was quite surreal, I suppose. We didn't. I don't think there hasn't, except for Rot. I don't think that there hasn't been any band that reached that many people in that short amount of time. In our label,
Yeah,
in our label.
Yeah, because like I said, I somehow your record came on. I was listening to a bunch of different stuff, and I listened to a lot of shit. And for some reason, I started listening to getting deep into the songs, and I was like, I just wanted to hear more and more, man. I was really impressed. Like, and it's you hear so many. There's so many bands now, as you guys know. There's so much product now,
Yeah.
especially like compared to what there used to be. That I even told Ed. I was talking to Ed about when we were bringing you guys on the show. I said, man, it's just this
Nonstop.
record's yeah, like this
Dude,
record's killer.
he doesn't.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Tony doesn't like shit. If it's not old '80s stuff or some of the stuff we grew up on, seriously, because a lot of stuff
I'm
is
old
just.
now,
It's just. Well, it's not even old, dude. Some of the stuff when people put it out, it just. There's no substance. I mean, no offense. There's. When you buy an Obituary record, you're getting fucking Obituary, Cannibal Corpse. You know what I mean? So there's bands that when they put records out, even Perdition Temple, you're going to get something brutal. New bands, they're coming out and they're trying to rehash stuff that was already done, and sometimes they don't do it right, and that's why it goes to the wayside. But this dude's been telling me about you guys. You got to check him out, bro. We're going to bring him on. We're going to get. Yeah, no. So he's real deal, man. I mean, he's the record definitely.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
he digs the shit out of it.
Thank you.
it takes a lot because you hear so much, especially now that we do this show, we hear a lot, and I felt real. I felt like I was hearing something very genuine. I felt like, and the riffs, like I said, there was a lot of hooks to it. I love the production because I can actually hear, a lot of the changes and stuff, and vocally, and that's one thing I liked. There's different vocals on this record. So, you get the death metal element, you get the black metal element, it has all those things. And I'm actually going to play in a moment. Ed, do you have the list of songs we played so far there? Do you know if we played the title track yet? B-Style?
No, I don't think so.
Extermination?
You played Death Invocation, and then the first song was the title track.
Oh, so I did play this. Okay, so now I'm gonna play. I'll play another song in a minute. I want to ask you that question really fast before I go to this next. I'm gonna play "Blood Defilement" next, which is another killer tune. But now going back to that with the House of Ygra and stuff, do you guys have interest on getting onto a, I don't know how to put it, like a, obviously a major label, I guess you would say, because I do think if you guys continue the path you're going in with the first record, you guys, are definitely something different than what I've heard in a while that stood out. I mean, what's your guys' views on that?
Yeah, so for now, I would say like for our next 1 or 2 releases, we will still do it on House of Ygra because for one, we still like Frostbite still have to go to Germany to finish his study, and I will go to the US like this year for
Oh
my,
shit,
for my
where are you
studying
going?
as well. I will go to Washington, the state.
Okay.
Yeah, for my graduate study. So I would say we will still do it as a studio project. So we will release our music through House of Ygra, and then I would say in the far future, like few years from now, when we finally get together, we'll plan something else. But like that's like the long plan. But for now, we are very happy with House of Ygra.
Yeah, and I think for us, it's the joy of creating the music that we like. I think it's what we are. That's our vision right now. And if we are lucky enough to like have a chance to be big, it would be like a reward. But right now, we are really happy that we can create better music, and that's all we are aiming for.
Yeah.
When you guys write, do you guys? I mean, I know everyone. Of course, you want. It's cool. I'm sure you guys appreciate that people really dig what you guys have done. But when you guys go into it, do you guys just kind of worry about making yourselves like it's pretty much what makes you guys happy? Kind of fuck the rest, But I mean, of course, you like the appreciation of it. But when you guys write for Blood Serpent, is it pretty much like what you guys want 100%?
Yeah.
You don't no compromise, I guess you would say.
Yeah, I would say no comment. We write what we enjoy. We don't do it for anyone else.
Okay. And you like we said, you guys got a show coming up, and you also have new music in the works, right? You guys have started working on is there actually new songs being written?
Yeah. So we have written around like 2 songs now. We have like 2 songs like almost ready now. So we plan to do a split with an US black metal band, but like I cannot tell you right now because I don't think they want us to public it now. So we plan to do a split with them probably this year. We'll probably release that split this year.
I tell you who these guys would be good a split with, Ed, and you probably know who I'm going to say. We had him on for like 3 hours a couple months ago. Nunslaughter.
Yep.
Yep.
I knew you were going there because you got 2,000 EPs.
And maybe that's what they got going on. They can't tell us because we had Dawn of the Dead on here probably like about 2 months ago. We had Don on here.
Yep.
He was on. He was on the show for like 3 hours, man. Definitely go back and check that. If you guys haven't heard that episode, it's great. But that's a band I could. Yeah, I could definitely picture.
Nunslaughter. They will tour like Southeast Asia like in October, and we may host them in Hanoi. So that may be gonna happen. We haven't dealt with them, or we haven't in a sense like deal like nothing is concrete yet, but like we have a chance to host Nunslaughter in Hanoi in October.
Great band, man. One of my definitely, awesome guys too. Before we're going to play another song here, and then we'll get back and just cover a couple more things with you guys. We'll let you go. We totally appreciate you guys. I know there's like a big hour difference. We're actually on 3 different time differences now because I'm over.
Yeah.
I'm in Eastern Europe. Ed's in Tampa, and you guys are in Vietnam. So we're like totally figuring out the schedule today. I'm like, well, these guys are going on at 8:00 at night. So Ed, this means we were trying to plan all this shit out, So, but I'm going to play Blood Defilement. And what can you guys tell us about this tune?
So yeah, Blood Defilement. It was the last song that we wrote. It was our fastest song so far, and it has probably one of the more like I would say more death metal kind of riff with more like Morbid Angel Corpse style of riffing, and yeah, it is our fastest song and our most difficult song to play live. So yeah.
Well, we're going to play it now. We're going to play It's Blood Defilement from the Bestial Extermination album for Blood Serpent off of the House of Ygra It came out on December 2023. So we're going to play that, and we'll be right back with the guys in a minute on the Tampa Morgue. That was Blood Defilement from Blood Serpent off the Bestial Extermination record that we've been talking about this whole show. And so next release, guys, what are you guys planning? A couple? Are you guys planning on doing a full one? Or are you going to do an EP? Or
Yeah, so let's release. So for now, it's the split with the US black metal band, but after that, we probably an EP. We don't plan to we don't plan to do another album just yet because it's just put out the
Too many
debut.
material.
So I would say we will focus on EPs or demos or another split if anyone is interested. So uh, at least for now, we have a split coming this year.
Just you guys got that going on, and you
Yeah.
guys releasing that through House of Ygra also.
We are planning that, so it may be a co-release between House Ygra and the US label that as a band is on, but like we have to deal with them later on. We still have to finish all the material first, and then all of the misc we can deal with that later.
Okay. And what are some? So, if you guys, for people who don't know a lot of the Vietnam scene, what are some bands that people should check out that you guys, 'cause it's a pretty growing. So, have you guys seen the scene grow a lot in the last, say, couple of years?
Yeah.
I would say that the all the bands in House of Igra are worth the check, you know. So that's for the northern part. I would say, Elcross, Von, Blood Serpent, also Nuclear Stockpiles. We all play this kind of very like we different music, but in the end, it's still extra music that people may enjoy. And in the southern side, we would say that Rock is a band that is really worth checking out. Really good black metal and some current Chumloki's project at this moment. Like there's a project called Color Chivu, a really I would say a really diverse project with a lot of forms of death metal in that record. It was released
Like
like
last month.
last month or this month I don't know. And he also has another project called Witchery, brutal death metal, really cool. I think it's worth checking out his projects. He has this kind of very brutal writing and really worth checking.
Yeah, like Chuluki's project, man. He has like new project every other day. So he writes lots of songs like in a very short amount of time. I don't know how he does that, but like he just does that. It's
Man's
fucking
like a
fucking machine.
man's like
He's a riff machine.
yeah library of riffs.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. And you guys have the show with Shitstorm coming out, and that's pretty much all you guys have booked show wise coming up.
Yeah, so coming up, we still have we only have that show coming up, and then Frostbite has to go back to Germany, and yeah, and we'll do some other local show after that. Well, in May we will have a black metal show with the band Pure Wrath from Indonesia, the atmospheric black metal
Yeah.
band.
Mm-hmm.
They will play that show in May, and F.R.O.S.T.B.I.T.E will play that show. So for
What are you
me,
guys
I
studying,
have two
by the way?
shows. Um,
For me, it's the tax and law, really hard stuff. Tax.
yeah, I study math and computer science.
Okay, so yeah, so you go heading to the States and stuff. No, man, we really appreciate you guys coming on, and I know it's a time difference, and you guys done many. Have you guys really done many interviews? I know you guys did one I saw for the label, I believe, and I got a couple magazines, I think, a couple print scenes.
Yeah, we did one, maybe like two written interview and one spoken interview with the House of Grind. With you guys, our second like spoken interview, and we plan to have another interview this month. We don't know the date yet, but like we still another spoken interview like this with a guy from Canada. Yeah.
Okay, that's definitely They, Ed, you know what they have. So where these guys are from. You ever see that? What's that coffee called? The Weasel coffee. Do you guys know? I don't know if you guys know. For us in America, the Weasel coffee is the coffee where they digest the beans, the little weasels,
and then they poop it
Yeah,
out.
yeah, they shit it out. I mean, supposedly it's excellent. Like they say, it's like a very expensive coffee or something. But that's actually from there. That
Yeah,
area.
it's from Vietnam. Yeah.
Sounds delicious.
It is.
What
It
you
is.
didn't know,
It's like
I'm sure.
unironically delicious.
I heard it's fucking great. Yeah, I mean, and that's one thing I always hear. Like off of the music topic for a second, I always hear that you guys have like amazing. The Vietnamese cuisine is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
weird
like-
because we have this image, for people who don't know about Vietnam, who haven't been there or something. We don't like. we don't really have a clear picture. And if you actually study a little bit about Vietnam, like I said, it's a gorgeous place. But I mean, it's a lot different than I think people think. And I didn't know you guys had the weasel coffee till probably like last year. I saw it on some kind of, some kind of channel there. But you guys,
the Tampa has pho. That's what they call it here.
It's the blood soup, right?
It's just it's kind of like, all I know is there's 3 places, and good luck finding a parking spot. That's how good it is, because people have always said the Vietnamese food is probably second to none. People think Chinese food. If they actually went to China, that they don't eat the crap that they feed us here in a Chinese restaurant. That's not the same thing. It's not even close.
Yeah, and that's something I can ask you guys. What is it? So you guys, obviously, for us, we hear Vietnam, we hear the communist country thing and stuff like that. How is it growing up like in that area? Because when it comes to because you guys, it's very expensive in the States right now. Like the States is like, you're going to see this actually when you go over to Washington. Like it's pretty fucking crazy now. Like the prices of everything. How there it's you guys can actually like live a little bit, right? I mean, obviously you guys probably get the wages. I don't know if they're the same. I don't know how any of that. I do know that you guys have a very good economic system going on right now. I've heard.
I wouldn't say like too good economical system, but like at least everything in Vietnam is still pretty cheap. Like you can live, like if you like make $1,000 a month in Vietnam, you can live like comfortably alone. If you don't have a family, then you live comfortably alone with like $1,000 a month. So things are pretty cheap, but like I would say the economic situation right now is a little bit like unstable due to like corruption and all that. But for now, I think things are still okay, and things are still very affordable, at least for us.
How did when COVID came for you guys? Like I know, so I was in Florida. I came here. I was in both. I was part of it in the States and a part of it in Eastern Europe. It was very much different in Eastern Europe than it was in Florida, because Florida was kind of like a free for all. There was no rules really, which I have to admit I did appreciate when I went there back. Yeah. How was it where you guys are from? Was it like total lockdown, or was it kind of like not give a shit?
Yeah. No. It was total lockdown. Like everything was closed, and we weren't really allowed to leave our home without a mask. And it was a very hard time for lots of people. Lots of business had to close down. For me, I was lucky because I still can work from home. I know many other folks couldn't do that, and they lost their jobs, so things were brutal for them. But we're glad that all that shit is over, and we are now like have more freedom, I suppose.
Yeah, you don't realize, right? Nobody. It's funny, you don't. I mean, we live in a fucked up world. Obviously, I'm sure you guys see where like every day there's a war going on or some crazy shit. Like obviously, just like as we saw last night, me and Ed were talking about over with Iran and Israel going on now. There's always something. We're obviously close. Where I'm located at, we're close to Ukraine, and like with the invasion over there and stuff. It's a crazy world, but I think when COVID came, we all realized what it meant to be locked up a little bit more. Like we all. That felt like you had no freedom for a while. So Ed, you didn't really deal with that too much over there in Tampa, but over here, I know in Europe we did
for the first few weeks. I mean, we weren't allowed to do anything. The problem was people got used to that free money, and they were like, "Keep us locked down. Just keep giving us the free money. I'll stay home and watch Netflix all day."
I'll take some.
Problem is that ruins the economy.
I'll take some free money.
That's why gas here is $3.50 a gallon in Florida, where it should be the cheapest.
Well, see, in Vietnam, you guys are using what? You guys use the motorbikes, which I mean, obviously, is like that's the number one transportation over there.
Yeah.
I think cars are kind of like
cars are like second. We have like the most is like the motorbikes, because it's like very convenient, very convenient.
Vespas. You guys are using Vespas now.
Vespas.
Yeah, it's Vespas. Like an old model, but like there are a lot of us still owning it and still travel around with Vespa.
Lots of Honda and Yamaha model, I suppose.
Okay, I saw that too. Yeah, so it saw that, so that's you guys got the Vespas. And you guys have like like I said, I mean, but I hear actually that it's pretty safe over there. I hear like for tourists, it's pretty, like I said, I definitely would like to come out there and check it out, man. So if I do, hopefully you guys will be playing.
Yeah, definitely. If you plan to go to like Hanoi, just hit us up. We will host you.
Cool, cool. Yeah, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna say goodbye to you guys in a few minutes. I am gonna now. I know you guys, and I'm gonna play this because I know you guys were big Black Witchery fans, and you guys did do a cover on the record. You guys did "Unholy Vengeance of War,"
Yeah.
which that was off what, the Desecration record,
Yeah, the
Desecration of the
first,
Holy
the
Kingdom.
first, the first, the second chapter of Holy Kingdom.
Okay, so we're gonna play that now. This is the Black Witchery cover you guys did, and then we're gonna basically come back, say goodbye to everybody, and then do our thing. But this is Blood Serpent with Unholy Vengeance of War, their Black Witchery cover that originally was on the Desecration of the Holy Kingdom record from Black Witchery in 2001. And we'll be right back after this song from this cover from Blood Serpent. We are back on the Tampa Morgue, and that was Blood Serpent with their cover of Unholy Vengeance of War. Yeah, man, like I said, guys, I know we really appreciate you guys coming on. I know you guys haven't done too many interviews and stuff. And, like I said, I heard the record. I listened to it a bunch of times. I was like, I'm going to try to get these guys on. I reached out to you, and you guys came on. And, it's very, like I said, I think it's great. And Ed, so before we say goodbye to these guys, we have a bunch of shit going on this week, right? So Thursday we have Jamie Bailey from Brodequin coming on. I don't know if you guys ever heard Brodequin, but
Yeah.
they have a new
Probably.
record out. Yeah, Jamie's coming on. Yeah, Jamie will be on Thursday. And then we have Harry from Hooded Menace on Monday next week.
Yep, 22nd.
22nd next week. And then we have Ryan Waste from Bat and Municipal Waste coming on. Oh, I just talked to him.
May
12th. Is it May 5th? May 12th, I think it is. I got to double check that.
12th. It's in May.
Yeah, May we have coming
Someday
on.
in May.
You know, so we have a bunch of guests, and whoever hasn't listened to our show, we do have. What do we have? We have Dawn of the Dead from Nunslaughter. We were talking about did an episode with him. We have Snowy
Vincent Crawley,
There you go.
Bobby Gustafson, Lord Armand, Dave Austin, Paul Speckman, Kyle Thomas from Exhorder and Trouble. We have Morbid Sane on.
That's like
David Howard
killer.
Thornton, who played Art the Clown. If you guys ever saw
We had
Terrifier,
them. The Rods.
the Rods, Carl,
yeah.
We had Dallas.
Dallas from
Color
Nile.
Reed,
You know, Nile and
Dawn of the Dead, obviously, and then Mortis Gold. And then, of course, the most overlooked dude that I
Blaine
still don't
Cook.
understand, Blaine Cook, man.
From The
I don't
Accused.
get it, man. But
Were you guys Accused fans at all?
Which band again? Pardon?
Accused?
The Accused.
I haven't heard. I haven't heard them. But check them out.
Yeah, they're a killer band. And then we had,
Old.
yeah, they're an older band, and he has, he's still doing his thing too. But yeah, so we appreciate everybody who listens to the show. And like I said, if you guys whoever has not checked out the Blood Serpent record, it's definitely worth checking out. It's, out of new releases, I would say, I know it came out in December, but it's not that long ago. It's kind of, I put that in the same year period. Yeah, it's one of the best records I've gotten in the last couple months. And any
Says
chance
a
for
lot.
yeah, it says a lot because we get a lot of shit. We listen to a lot of
Well,
stuff.
you don't put anything over. You're like the worst.
Yeah, no, I do. I like it's just like I said. There's so many. One thing is with you guys. When I listened to Blood Serpent, I felt like I was listening to something that was taken seriously and it felt real. There's a lot of stuff that I don't always feel like that when I hear it now, and I really felt with that record, it has a total atmosphere to it. So I really, you guys definitely killed it, man, on that. So any chance for a vinyl release of that? Are you guys looking at? Talking to anybody about? I know that's expensive as shit, but that might be where you can get a different label to put it out for you guys, vinyl wise.
Yeah, we still haven't planned that yet. Probably in the future because like pressing vinyls in Vietnam is impossible, and so we still have to outsource to like China or somewhere else to do that for us. But yeah, that's something we'll keep in mind. We probably do a LP press like later on, but probably not in the near future though.
Okay, and you guys have, like I said, a new EP. You guys working on new music, so that'll be at. Where can people go to find your, to find some shirts or CDs and stuff like that from you guys?
Yeah. So for everyone listening, you can find all of our merch, all of our CDs, on the House of Ygra Bandcamp, and check out all the House of Ygra back catalog because we have a lot of merch, a lot of CDs there, and feel free to check out, feel free to buy, and thanks for supporting. Yeah.
There you go, Ed. That's another episode, huh? Episode, what was it, 38 tonight?
Yep. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it?
Who would have thought? But we appreciate everybody that listens to us. Obviously, Ed, tell them everybody where they can hear us at.
Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube. Go find us on Instagram. Delete your Facebook.
Facebook page, and the YouTube. We don't do video. We do audio. So we're on all the Spotify's and stuff like that. So I think the YouTube always gets affected by that. If you have videos, you do very well on YouTube. But like I said, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, we're pretty much everywhere. And
Anywhere podcasts are.
Anywhere podcasts are, and we're only growing. We're kind of like sharpening our craft. You would say, Ed?
Yeah, if that's what you want to call it.
Something like that. Yeah.
Pretending to bullshit like we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we're just music fans.
Listen, we're just old dudes that
played in bands our whole life,
up.
and
Yeah,
we're band guys for our whole life, and we know what it's like. And that's why we got the Blood Serpent guys are like half of our age, which is and for Ed, it's even more than that.
Thanks, bro.
Yo,
Appreciate
fucker.
you. Thanks, Anthony.
Hey, listen, Edwin. But no, man. Anybody, we appreciate you listening, and definitely check out Blood Serpent. killer band, killer debut record. And yeah, we'll see everybody on Thursday with Jamie from Brodequin, or Brodequin, however you want to pronounce it. And we'll talk about their new record and a bunch of other stuff. And you can always go back in the catalog, like Ed was saying. You can find us on Spotify. You'll find all the old episodes. You'll find about 37 of them. So, guys, we really appreciate it again, man. And we'll say goodbye to you guys when we sign off of here.
Yeah, thank you for having us. It's been an honor for us to have this interview. Yeah, we appreciate
definitely.
it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, when you guys put out the next record, we'll bring you guys on whenever. You guys can come on whenever you guys feel like it.
All right.
And yeah, we appreciate everybody for listening. As always, this is Tony and Ed from the Tampa Morgue. You can find us everywhere. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Thanks again, everybody, for listening. Until the next show, peace out.
See ya.